China's attack on a U.S. aircraft carrier, the chain reaction explained opening. A shot across the Pacific. The sea is calm. The night sky over the South China Sea glows faintly with starlight. And without warning, radar screens flare red. Alarms shriek. A single missile launches from deep inside mainland China, arcing high above the Earth before diving back toward the ocean. Its target, a U.S. aircraft carrier, a vessel bristling with firepower, a floating city of 5,000 sailors. This hasn't happened yet, but experts agree the possibility is real, and the consequences would be earth-shaking. One miscalculation, one bold strike, could ignite the most dangerous conflict of the modern era. In this video, we're going to walk step by step through exactly what would happen if China attacked a U.S. carrier. From the first missile launch, to the carrier's desperate defenses, to America's retaliation, and the global fallout that would follow. Because make no mistake, this wouldn't just be about one ship. It would be about the balance of power across the Pacific and the future of the world. Why carriers are the target. An aircraft carrier isn't just a warship, it's a message. Each one is a sovereign slice of America, sailing wherever Washington decides. It's an airbase that moves across oceans, a symbol of power projection unmatched in history. For China, that symbol is both a threat and a challenge. Over the last 2 decades, Beijing has rapidly expanded its navy, now the world's largest by ship count. But the heart of their strategy isn't just numbers. It's weapons designed for one purpose: to sink a U.S. carrier before it can dominate a battle. Among those weapons are the DF-21D and DF-26 ballistic missiles, nicknamed carrier killers. With ranges exceeding 1,500 miles, they can strike far beyond the reach of most aircraft. Add to this the YJ-21 hypersonic missile, which flies at speeds up to Mach 10, maneuvering unpredictably to evade defenses. Then there are stealthy submarines armed with cruise missiles, long-range H-6 bombers carrying anti-ship payloads, and swarms of drones designed to overwhelm defenses. China has built an arsenal not just to fight the U.S. Navy, but to make America think twice before sending its carriers into contested waters. The first strike. Now imagine the decision is made. In a secure command center in Beijing, orders are signed. At 2 a.m., mobile launchers roll into position. A DF-21D rises into the night and ignites. At the same time, an H-6 bomber leaves the runway, carrying an air-launched ballistic missile. Along the coast, warships ready salvos of YJ-18 cruise missiles set to skim the ocean's surface like deadly shadows. In less than 2 minutes, the attack is underway. On the USS Ronald Reagan, the crew has only seconds to react. The ship's Aegis combat system detects the incoming threats. Computer screens flood with red icons. Dozens of missiles, some descending from space, others racing low across the water. The Reagan's escorts spring into action. SM-6 interceptors streak into the sky, hunting ballistic targets. ESSMs leap from vertical launch cells to intercept cruise missiles. And when one slips through, the Phalanx CIWS Gatling gun unleashes a torrent of 20mm rounds. A wall of metal shredding the incoming warhead. But defenses aren't perfect. Even one missile slipping through could cripple the carrier, shattering its flight deck, sparking fires, and halting aircraft operations. And that's just the opening salvo. The carrier strikes back. Within minutes, the Reagan's damage control teams leap into action. Fires are contained. Power is rerouted. Aircraft are scrambled from the deck. F/A-18 Super Hornets and F-35Cs climbing into the night sky. Nearby destroyers and cruisers keep intercepting missiles, but now it's America's turn to go on the offensive. An EA-18G Growler takes off, flooding Chinese radar with electronic noise. Drones are launched to track missile launch sites. And deep beneath the waves, a Virginia-class submarine quietly prepares its own strike. From hundreds of miles away, Tomahawk cruise missiles launch toward Chinese radar stations and mobile launchers. The U.S. isn't aiming blindly. It's cutting out the enemy's eyes and hands. At the same time, cyber units in Hawaii and Virginia open digital battlefields, attempting to jam Chinese targeting systems, spoof satellite data, and blind command networks. The strike group isn't retreating, it's adapting. Even wounded, the Reagan remains the nerve center of the fight. The Pacific ignites. But this fight doesn't stay local. Within hours, the entire Pacific theater shifts into high alert. Japan scrambles fighters and deploys Aegis destroyers. South Korea strengthens air defense networks, fearing spillover. Australia activates its naval forces, sending surveillance aircraft to patrol contested waters. Taiwan, sitting just 100 miles off China's coast, braces for the possibility it could be next. Bases in Guam load B-1 bombers. Satellite networks refocus on Chinese territory. NATO begins emergency consultations, while the United Nations erupts in accusations and vetoes. And across global markets, panic spreads. Shipping routes through the South China Sea, which carry trillions in annual trade, seize up overnight. Oil prices spike. Stock markets tumble. This isn't just a battle at sea anymore. It's an earthquake rippling through economies and alliances worldwide. Escalation risks. Here lies the danger. No one knows if China's strike was meant as a warning, a limited escalation, or the first move in all-out war. But once the line is crossed, once a U.S. carrier is hit, the logic of restraint becomes fragile. The U.S. cannot appear weak. Failing to respond decisively could invite more attacks, not just on ships, but on allies. But escalating risks dragging the world into a war neither side can win. Both Washington and Beijing are nuclear powers, each with second strike capability. Even without crossing that threshold, cyber attacks, satellite warfare, and proxy conflicts could spiral out of control. One nervous pilot, one misread radar return, one submarine commander with itchy trigger fingers. That's all it would take to transform a naval clash into a regional or even global catastrophe. Could carriers survive? Here's a question many experts debate. In a real war, could a U.S. aircraft carrier survive China's opening strike? Carriers are built to take damage. Their crews train constantly for fire suppression, damage control, and emergency repairs. Even a direct hit doesn't guarantee sinking. These ships are massive, compartmentalized, and designed to keep floating through punishment. But survival isn't the only issue. If the flight deck is disabled, the carrier's main weapon, its aircraft, is grounded. A carrier doesn't need to sink to be neutralized. And in modern war, disabling is often enough. That's why the U.S. relies not just on carriers, but on the entire strike group. Submarines, destroyers, cruisers, and satellites, all forming a layered shield of defense and offense. The question isn't whether one carrier survives, it's whether the U.S. Navy as a whole can adapt faster than China can overwhelm. The bigger picture. Why does this matter so much? Because the Taiwan Strait and the South China Sea aren't just regional flashpoints, they're pressure valves for global stability. If China proves it can successfully strike a U.S. carrier, the balance of deterrence shifts. Allies might lose faith in American protection. Rivals might test their limits elsewhere. The rules of global power projection could be rewritten overnight. And that's why the U.S. continues sailing carriers into contested waters, not just to project strength, but to signal that no nation, no matter how armed, can dictate the laws of international seas, steel and fire. So what happens when China attacks a U.S. aircraft carrier? The answer isn't just missiles and countermissiles. It's the unraveling of global stability, the testing of alliances, and the risk of a war with no winners. A carrier might survive. America would strike back. China would escalate, and the world would teeter on the edge of a conflict unseen in generations. That's why the most important battles aren't fought at sea, but at the negotiating table. Because once the first missile is launched, the path back to peace is anything but clear. What do you think? Could an aircraft carrier truly withstand a modern strike, or are we one step from disaster? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the world's most critical military flashpoints.